Even like I've said in my previous video, the African Cup of Nations that is currently going on, we have so much influence in the case between Nigeria and DR Congo, in which the NFF of Nigeria accused DR Congo of feeding non-eligible players in the World Cup playoff game. Even like I said before, that CAF, who are the head of African football, are siding with Nigeria in the petition against DR Congo. But in today's video, we'll be looking at it in a deeper sense. We'll be evaluating and bringing out of fact why I'm saying that the African Cup of Nations that is currently going on, we have so much influence in that case between Nigeria and DR Congo. Now let's dive in proper. Now, like I always say, CAF wants good representatives that can be able to represent the African continent in the World Cup. Because if we should look at the teams from Africa that have already qualified for the World Cup, you will discover that most of them are playing against some giants in Europe and some giants in South America continent. For example, looking at Algeria. Algeria's opening game in the World Cup is against the defending champion Argentina. What about Senegal? Senegal opening game in the 2026 World Cup is against France, who are the champions in the World Cup 2018 and in the previous World Cup in Qatar 2022. France ended up being runners-up to Argentina. So you can see that France is a good side. What about Egypt? Egypt opening game is against Belgium, and we all know that in the 2018 World Cup, Belgium took third. They won the third place against England. So you can start these African teams I just mentioned. They are playing against tougher opponents. What about Morocco? Morocco's opening game is against Brazil, and we all know that Brazil have been crowned the world champion for so many years. So you can see that the opponent that most of these African teams are playing against are tougher opponents from South America and even from Europe. Now, in addition, even the DR Congo that we are talking about, if they can be able to progress from the continental playoff, we discover that they will fall in Group K, and their opening game will be against Portugal, who are the current defending champion of the Nations League. And we all know that currently, Cristiano's Portugal, they are good side. So you can start with this. CAF are doing their best in order to get good representatives from Africa that can be able to represent the African continent in the World Cup. And like I said before, the whole world, including CAF, are seeing Nigeria currently. They are seeing the manner in which Nigeria is thriving, the manner in which they are dominating in the African Cup of Nations currently, triumphing in winning ways. The entire world is seeing it, especially CAF. And now let's not forget, these Super Eagles in the African Cup of Nations last year, they took second place after losing the final to the host Cote d'Ivoire, 2-1. And in that Afcon last year, the Super Eagles, they played very well. Because if you look at their games, beginning from the group stage to the final, they were unbeaten, defeating the same Cote d'Ivoire, even in the group stage, the same Cote d'Ivoire that won them in the final. You will discover that Nigeria defeated Cote d'Ivoire in the group stage. So you can see that same form, that same winning energy, that winning momentum, that's what they have also taken, even to this Afcon this year. And you can see the manner in which they are striving. The whole world is seeing it. So you can see that every continent all over the world, Asia, America, Europe, they all want good representatives to represent their continent in the World Cup. So also CAF, who are the head of African continent, they themselves will do their best to protect the interests of the African continent by doing their best to promote good teams from Africa to represent the African continent in the World Cup. And like I said before, CAF knew that this Nigeria Super Eagles, they are far better than DR Congo. And not even only CAF, even those of us who have been watching the Afcon beginning from the group stage, we all knew that Nigeria are far better than DR Congo. If we should analyze it from a fair contest, removing sentiment or hatred, we all knew, or we all can easily agree that Nigeria or the Super Eagles are far better than DR Congo. We all knew that. Now, in addition, let me say this so that it will not look as if I'm just giving all these points for my own knowledge. Currently, some of the medias of DR Congo have already started accusing CAF that CAF are siding with Nigeria in the petition NFF made against DR Congo. They have already started saying it. If you are in doubt, you can go to your internet, you can go to your Google and check for yourself. They have already started accusing CAF that CAF are siding with Nigeria. Some of the medias of DR Congo have already started saying it. So if we can open our eyes very well and look at the handwriting of the world currently, we can easily predict that CAF will do their best to fight for the interests of Nigeria. Why? Because Nigeria dominated the Afcon. Now on my hand, I can confidently say it, or I can confidently stake a bet that if Nigeria ended up winning the Afcon, if by adventure they ended up winning the Afcon, I can confidently stake a bet that Nigeria will end up winning the case against DR Congo. Take note, this my video is here. If by adventure Nigeria win the Afcon and they did not win that case against DR Congo, you can call me a clown. I'm saying this publicly, confidently, to all who are watching, that if Nigeria ended up winning the Afcon, I bet you, or I can stake a bet to anyone, that Nigeria win that case against DR Congo. Lastly, let me say this. The former Super Eagles legend, Nwankwo Kanu, recently tweeted that every teams in Africa are afraid of Super Eagles. That this Super Eagles team currently, they are almost unstoppable. Now, not only that, what about the former Ivory Coast legend, Didier Drogba, who previously played for Chelsea? He also tweeted that Victor Osimhen is the best striker in Africa currently. He also added that with Victor Osimhen playing for the Super Eagles, they are almost unstoppable. That the Super Eagles are a big threat to other teams in the African Cup of Nations. In my opinion, I think that anybody that is saying that Nigeria are not playing well the Afcon, that person may just be saying it out of hatred or out of sentiment for Nigeria, because with the handwriting on the wall that we all are seeing, I can easily predict that the odds are in favor of Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching.